What was kind of underneath like some of that, early stuff for you as a kid?
I can, as I've grown a little bit, you have the gift of reflection and of hindsight. So I kind of started looking at a few things, way back early. And, it's funny to look back at a lemonade stand as like a pivotal point in your childhood. But where my parents' house was directly across the street from this giant water tower. We lived across the street from a park. And there was this giant water tower there. And during one of the summers, they decided to paint this water tower. And if you've ever, I'm sure everyone here within earshot has never been witness to the painting of a giant water tower, but we had this really unique, setup where they were painting this thing, and it took them weeks to do. So being the kind of industrious young kids me and my sisters were, we set up a lemonade stand directly across the street from where there was 20, 30 dudes painting this water tower for weeks on end, and we cleaned up. We just, of course, we were using, mom and dad's sugar and lemons and everything, and Kool-Aid, I think at the time. But, I look back at that thing and I'm like, all right, that was one of those times where, we saw an opportunity, albeit as, children, and we actually had a pretty decent result from, looking at an opportunity, and little things came from that. I remember having this one idea where, when you were really small, you could go to like the little festivals or carnivals and you could, play a game and then win a prize. And a lot of these prizes were these inflatables, like an inflatable crayon or an inflatable hammer or an inflatable animal or something like that. And I thought, well, why have to go and wait for a carnival to come to town or one of the fairs to come to town? I got one of these Oriental trading magazines that just came in, the mail at one point. And I was like, why don't we just order all these and then we can sell them like a lemonade stand? So I would go around to people's garage sales and ask if I could just set up I had this little picnic table that I'd drag around in a wagon. And then I'd ask them to set up in front of in their driveway, and he'd sell these inflatable crayons. And I don't think we really ever sold anything. I mean, they're a couple dollars. I maybe made $10, but those little things you look back on and you're like, that maybe that did define a little bit of what was to come, later in life.